What's the point of a husband who won't stand up for his wife? My daughter was being bullied by her mother-in-law, and her husband, my son-in-law, wouldn't even defend her. Instead, he said, "Mother-in-law, this is just part of her education as a wife. If you don't like it, take her back home." So I did just that. I brought my daughter back home with me. I'm a 50-year-old woman named Susie. I live with my only daughter, Maureen. My husband passed away in a car accident when I was young, and Maureen was in kindergarten. Since then, I've raised her on my own. I won't lie. It's been tough. I'm sure there were many days when she felt lonely or upset. But she graduated high school and went on to college. After college, she got a job and became a working adult. Maureen works for a well-established local company that runs various businesses like a bakery, a pharmacy, and real estate. It's a solid company. About a year ago, after working there for 3 years, Maureen told me she had a boyfriend. He was a polite and quiet young man, a sales rep from one of their clients. I was hopeful that he would be a good match for my outgoing daughter, Maureen. "Mom, I've decided to marry Ricky." She told me this with a smile about 3 months ago. I was thrilled that she had finally found happiness and celebrated grandly. We went all out for the wedding and the housewarming. At first, Maureen seemed ecstatic, but as time passed, she sounded less and less cheerful, and it became harder to get in touch with her. I thought it was just typical post-wedding blues, so I decided to wait for her to reach out. Maureen's an adult. It's not my place to meddle, I thought. But I was wrong. "Hey, Maureen looks really worn out. That's not just wedding blues. Are you sure she's okay?" My friend Karen, who lives near Maureen, told me this. "What do you mean?" "Her complexion is terrible. I asked if she was pregnant, but she said no. She looked really sad. Have you heard anything?" Karen's tone was somewhat accusatory. "I haven't been able to reach her lately. She's not answering her phone. You should try contacting her again." Encouraged by Karen's insistence, I called Maureen once more. "Hello, Maureen. It's Mom. Just checking in on you." Maureen answered, but there was only silence. "Maureen, can you hear me? Are you okay?" "Mom, I..." Maureen broke down crying on the phone. "Maureen, are you okay?" "Mom, I'm not okay." Hearing that Maureen wasn't doing well, I regretted not visiting her sooner. I've been so wrapped up in work that I've neglected her, but Maureen always put on a brave face for me, always cheerful. Now she's in tears, saying she's not okay. I held back my emotions and rushed to Maureen's side. "Maureen, Mom's here." "Mom, When I saw Maureen, she looked worn out, a shadow of herself from just a few months ago. "What happened to you?" I hugged Maureen and rubbed her back. Seemingly relieved, Maureen began to speak through her tears and sobs. "Ricky's parents are bullying me. They say I'm uncivilized because I was raised by a single mom, so they're disciplining me." I looked at Maureen's hands. Her once beautiful fingertips were now cracked and sore. "This is terrible." "They tell me to wash dishes with cold water to save hot water. They even tell me to hand wash clothes before using the washing machine." "What?" Apparently, her mother-in-law insists that Maureen hand wash her clothes as a pre-wash. "And I have to mop the floor every morning." Fuming, Maureen added, "What hurts the most is when they badmouth you, Mom." She burst into tears. I was livid and yelled at Ricky's parents. "What are you doing to my daughter?" Ricky's parents came out from the living room. "What's going on?" "Who do you think you are, making a scene in our home?" "You're bullying my daughter under the guise of discipline." They retorted, "This is why we can't deal with women from single-parent homes." "We're just disciplining an uncivilized girl. Your attitude is unacceptable." They began to mock us. "What's going on?" Ricky came out after hearing the commotion. "Ricky, your wife is so flawed that we're disciplining her, and her unreasonable mother is making a fuss." Ricky's mom reported to him as if tattling. I confronted Ricky. If you're her husband, don't just stand there. Help Maureen. You're misunderstanding. Maureen is failing as a wife. My parents are just trying to make her presentable. Ricky arrogantly defended his parents. You're a failure as a husband. If you can't protect your own wife, stop this nonsense. I was furious and lunged at Ricky. Ricky retorted, You're taking advantage of my parents' kindness. I did you a favor by marrying a woman from a single-parent home. If you have a problem, take her back with you. With that, he shook off my hand. I lost my balance and fell at the entrance. Mom, are you okay? Maureen rushed to my side. I'm fine, Maureen. You don't need to stay here any longer. Get a divorce. When I urged Maureen to divorce, she weakly nodded. Okay, I understand. As we were about to leave, Ricky's parents sneered. You're probably going back to some rundown apartment. Feel free to come back any time. Yeah, but only if you apologize deeply. Ricky's parents took turns mocking us. I quickly retorted, You're the ones who don't get it. This house isn't yours. Don't get it twisted. What are you talking about? This house was inherited by Maureen from her grandfather, right? What's hers is mine. Ricky insisted it was his, refusing to listen. Actually, inherited property doesn't automatically become the spouse's. That's the law. I pulled out a piece of paper from my bag and showed it to them. It was a copy of the land registry for the house, proving that I was the legal owner. My father, Maureen's grandfather, left this house to me, not directly to Maureen. I've been the one paying the taxes. Ricky and his parents were dumbfounded. I calmly explained that I had gifted them the house as a wedding present, free of rent and taxes. What? I've never heard about this, Ricky. I don't know. She's probably bluffing. Ricky and his parents refused to believe us. Listen, you have no right to live here. If you understand, leave. Despite my declaration, they remained defiant. That's your problem. We're staying. You're the one who should leave. Fine. I'll see you in court, I said, taking Maureen with me as we left the house. As we exited, I noticed neighbors gathered, whispering among themselves after hearing the commotion. Among them was my friend Karen. Are you okay? Sorry for causing a scene. Karen looked concerned. I'll explain everything later, I said, hugging Maureen as we left. After that, Ricky and his family tried to continue living in the house, but word had spread in the neighborhood. People had noticed Maureen's declining health since her marriage. When it became known that they had bullied Maureen, tried to kick her out, and even attempted to take over the house, they were shunned as a disgraceful family. Living in a small town, word travels fast. It didn't take long for us to hear about Ricky and his family situation through Karen. Their reputation had plummeted, and they were even told not to dispose of their trash at the community dump. Apparently, they fled in the night. Karen told me, chuckling. Within a month of us leaving, Ricky had called my cell phone multiple times. It's your fault we can't live there anymore, because of the harassment. Apologize now. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I brushed him off. Apologize to us, and we'll clear up the misunderstanding with the neighbors. Then we'll forgive you. He still seemed to think they'd done nothing wrong. I was so disgusted that I hung up. A week after the calls, Ricky and his family showed up at my house unannounced. They were stunned when they arrived. Yes, I live in one of the city's most luxurious high-rise apartments. In fact, my late husband ran a company, and I took over as CEO after his passing. Working hard for Maureen's sake, the company grew, and now I can afford to live in a high-rise. Upon discovering this, Ricky and his family immediately changed their tune. We're really sorry. We had no idea you were so well off, Ricky said, forcing a smile. Yes, it's our fault for not knowing better. If we'd known you lived here, we would have treated you differently, Ricky's mom added. So you're apologizing because I live here? I asked sarcastically. No, actually, we sold our house to live with Ricky and Maureen, but now we have nowhere to go, Ricky's mom continued. Yes, we wanted to provide a good home for our parents, so we proposed living together, Ricky added. We sold our house for that reason, and now we're stuck in a rundown apartment, Ricky's mom said, feigning tears. Mom, don't cry. So, can you help us out? Could you either give us some financial support or let us live in an empty room in this high-rise? Ricky shamelessly asked for assistance. I put on a smile and said, Remember what you did to my daughter? Even if you've forgotten, I never will. Please leave. What? You're abandoning your own family? Maureen, who had witnessed the whole thing, immediately called the police. The police arrived promptly, found the 3 people, and quickly sent them away. Turns out Maureen had consulted the police several times after her divorce, saying her ex-husband was stalking her, wanting to reconcile. Her ex's family continued to show up at her apartment complex, but the concierge handled it. They've been scraping by in a cheap, run-down 2-bedroom apartment ever since. They squandered the money from selling their house on new furniture during the move, leaving them with almost nothing. Ricky's parents can't adjust to a less luxurious lifestyle and continue to live recklessly. Their son Ricky is worn out from being exploited by his parents. Moreover, the reason for the divorce got out because he used to be a salesman who frequented Maureen's company. As a result, he's been banned from Maureen's company and lost a major client, derailing his career. Even Ricky's parents have started looking for work, realizing the gravity of the situation. But due to their age, skills, and neighborhood gossip, they're struggling to find employment. The jobs they do find don't pay well, and they continue to live in hardship. I decided it would be a waste to leave my father's house vacant, so I've opened it up as a community center for the neighborhood. I occasionally check in to make sure Ricky's family isn't causing trouble. Maureen told me, I'm an adult now, and I wanted to handle my husband myself. I didn't want to worry you, Mom. I've been telling her, it's not shameful to ask for help. The sooner you speak up, the less you'll suffer. So speak up sooner from now on. After the divorce, Maureen has been living in my high-rise apartment and continues to work at the company she's been with since before her marriage. She was downcast when she first came back home, but now she's back to her old self and helps around the house. We plan to live happily together for the foreseeable future.